How you doing, everybody? Welcome back. I guess this time we're going to talk about, we have a presidential debate coming up tomorrow, and I've seen all kinds of conspiracy theories going around. I don't necessarily like Biden, but I sure as hell can't stand Trump. Some of the conspiracy theories that I'm seeing is, they're going to give Biden all the questions in advance. Biden needs to take a drug test. It's not going to be the real Biden. It's going to be this, that, or the other. They're going to gang up on Trump. Everything's rigged, and that's Trump's MO, isn't it, though? Everything is rigged. Let's go back to, leading up to the debate, rigged. Primaries, rigged. His trials, rigged. Let's go back to 2020, rigged. The 2022 elections where candidates like Kari Lake lost, rigged. Let's go back to, 2016, before he actually won, rigged. After he won, rigged because he didn't win the popular vote. The Wisconsin primary is one that I remember off the top of my head that was rigged, because Cruz won. And they showed big areas of Wisconsin that Trump won, but they showed these little areas that Cruz won. Never mind that, those little areas were, Milwaukee and Green Bay and Madison and, all the bigger cities in Wisconsin, whereas Trump won big spaces where not a whole lot of people live. So, going into the Iowa caucuses, actually the Iowa caucuses were rigged because he didn't win. Going into the Iowa caucuses, rigged. Oh, and by the way, how stupid are the voters of Iowa, right? He actually said that because Ben Carson had a lead in the polls. Anyway, I go back on that, because if everything is rigged against you, maybe you're just a loser. And he's proven himself to be a loser over and over and over again. And, he said back in 2016 that Hillary Clinton needs to be drug tested for the debates. I don't like Hillary Clinton at all. That was an election where I don't think we could have gotten the right answer, no matter what we did. But, that's neither here nor there. It happened. We can't go back and undo it. Even though he wants to go back and undo the 2020 election, and his supporters want to go back and undo it, it's like, well, a little bit late for that now, right? And if all the elections are rigged, unless your guy wins, I guess they're always going to be rigged, aren't they, if you keep losing? Maybe that's not the only way the other people can win. Maybe what you ought to do is try appealing to people. Try to expand your base. Try to attract more people to your ideas. Rather than, I think I told you in my first video that I had been a lifelong Republican up until Trump came onto the scene, and they made it clear that people like me are not welcome in the Republican Party. So if you're going to make it clear to people like me that I'm not welcome, fine. I know where the door is. I'll see myself out. Thank you very much. And so I left. So then we've got, Miss Bleach Blonde Bad Built Butch Body from down in Georgia. She's very vocal about, well, if you don't support our guy, this specific guy, forget about. You don't have to support our ideas. You have to support this guy. If you don't support this guy, get out. Okay, I'm out. But, like I was saying, before I got derailed a little bit, we've got that debate coming up, and it's rigged, and Biden needs to be drug tested, and they're going to have them all hopped up in Mountain Dew, and They're giving him all the questions in advance, and they're going to have an earpiece in his ear, and it's not going to be the real Joe Biden, and what? Really? All these conspiracy theories. They're going to give him the questions in advance. Sure, because we don't already know all the questions in advance, right? Mr. Trump, you have been convicted on 34 felony counts in the state of New York. Why should the people vote for you? That's going to be one of the questions. Mr. Biden, your son has been convicted on 3 felony counts in federal court in Delaware. What assurances do we have that you're not going to pardon him? And doesn't that put you on an equal footing as your opponent? Which, no, it doesn't, because the son of a candidate, the actual candidate. One's a private citizen, one has been president, wants to be president again. Not the same thing. Are they both convicted felons? Yes. Should they be both convicted felons? I think so, yeah. The jury made their decision. Like it or not, that's the way it is. You don't like it, appeal. So, rather than throwing all these conspiracy theories out there, why is he gone for a week with 16 people preparing for a debate? Should he not prepare for the debate? I mean, what's your guy doing to prepare? Seriously. Is he preparing, or is he just going to go out there, do what he does, and toss out a bunch of word salads and non sequiturs and say a bunch of stuff that makes no sense at all, go on about sharks and batteries? And I read a quote from him today about the situation in Ukraine, and he went just on and on and on. He was asked a question, he didn't even answer the question. He's like, well, what I would do is, and there's a lot of things we could do, and we've got planes, and we've got a lot of things. We've got 44-year-old jets, and, what we can do, and we can do this. But he didn't say what he would actually do. So, why should we trust the guy? I don't. So, is Biden going to be on drugs? I very seriously doubt it. Is Trump going to be on drugs? I doubt it. But let's say Biden agrees to the drug test. It comes back negative. Rigged! Guaranteed. They're going to say it was rigged. Because everything is rigged against them. If everything is rigged against you, you're a loser. That's all there is to it. Well, that wasn't really him. Sure, right. And that's Bigfoot right over there behind me in these trees, right? Sure. Now, honestly, I believe Bigfoot could possibly exist, but there's never been any evidence of it. But, it's possible. Loch Ness Monster are more likely to exist, by the way, in my opinion. But neither one has been proven, of course, and so until they are proven, I'm just going to accept the fact that it's possible, but unproven. So, that's what you do. But once something is proven or disproven, accept it as fact. I don't see why that's so hard for people. Instead of throwing out conspiracy theories about every little thing, excuse me, gnat went down my throat there. Give me just a second here. Wow. Okay. So, now that we took care of that, that's one disadvantage of filming outside. You got these little bugs all flying around. But you know what? It's one disadvantage of living in an area that looks like this. But I like it here. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, conspiracy theories. I tell you what. Oswald acted alone. Paul McCartney is still alive. He did not die in 1966. Elvis is dead. Okay? the space shuttle really did explode in 1986. 9/11 was not an inside job. Trump lost the election. And you know what? Tinfoil is not nearly as nice a hat as this is, you know? I mean, this is a much better hat than tinfoil. And it's probably a lot more comfortable, too. Any conspiracy theory you want to throw at me, I'll debunk it. Because, well, there are some conspiracies that actually happen. Of course, there are some. But conspiracy theories are for people unable to accept reality on reality's terms, right? So, if you have to make up these wild, exaggerated conspiracy theories, if you have to buy into, like, Alex Jones type stuff, I'm sorry, Sandy Hook happened, okay? Unfortunately, that's a true thing. It happened, right? All the school shootings that we know about, they actually happened. They were not false flag events. There's a reason that Alex Jones just lost his, I believe he lost his company. I'd have to double check on that. But yeah, I mean, they're divesting his assets. You know, so stop with the conspiracy theories. The candidates are going to debate. They both know what to expect, or they should, because they've both been there before. Against each other, even. You know? Economy, the convictions, inflation, the border, Ukraine, Gaza. Did I say inflation? IVF. The overturning of Roe. Contraceptions. These are subjects that are going to be asked about. And, you know, probably climate change and probably a few others that I've missed. But there you go. I just gave you the answers in advance. What? Yeah, that's what I thought. We all know the questions, right? It's just a matter of how are they going to address them. That's all. You know, I mean, conspiracy theories are for people who don't like to think. And with that, I'm going to go back inside and get away from these bugs. We'll see you next time.